All right, everybody, please welcome Trevor Oakes. Trevor, you were drafted by the Dodgers in the seventh round back in 2014. You've been with three organizations. You faced a lot of challenges, but you've also had a lot of success striking out Mike Trout as well. Can you walk us through your career a little bit?
Yeah. Let's see. Came from two small private schools, so that kind of like plays into um, a little bit of like a chip on my shoulder, just because there's not that many guys that come from NAIA or Division II schools in professional baseball. Um, so just getting drafted by the Dodgers, in the seventh round, that was awesome. Like I was so thankful for that opportunity. And once I got into pro ball, I just kind of found a little niche, and my niche was getting ground balls. So I just tried to be as efficient as I could, and had some success in the minor leagues with them, and then got traded to the Royals, debuted with them, and then DFA'd, and now I got claimed by the Giants, and so I'm over here. With Farhan and Gabe Kapler, who were also with the Dodgers organization before. So it's nice to know somebody that I've worked with before, and to have some people in my corner.
Yeah, that's very cool. We have a little clip here from your time with the Royals, including that Mike Trout strikeout there. You're talking about being, back with Gabe Kapler and Farhan. That familiarity, does that help out a lot from your standpoint, knowing that there's a front office that sees something in you that they really believe in and want to put forward?
Yeah, I think I just know their style a little bit. I think that Farhan does a really good job of trying to use technology and use all those things to our benefit, and like create a space where players can um, ask questions and be able to kind of understand what makes them great. And so that's like a really familiar thing for me, especially with Gabe too. Like when he came over with the Dodgers, he was really into creating that organic diet for the players, and I kind of feel like they try to be different thinkers and pioneers for baseball. And so that's attractive to me as a player, and it just gives you the freedom to kind of like make yourself as good as you think you can be, and try to figure out like what makes you better and how to um, get the most out of your career.
Yeah, you mentioned the diet and then the technology. It's definitely something that people are looking a lot more towards now with Major League Baseball, trying to prevent injuries and getting the most out of players. Has that been something you've kind of had throughout your entire career, using more analytics and trying to stay really healthy on and off the field?
Yeah, just because Gabe Kapler like implemented that early on, and I spent quite a few years with the Dodgers. Like that, that's always been like a priority. Then like going into this off season, usually when you get DFA'd and claimed by a team, like there's not always like a lot of communication as far as like what they want you to do. And right away, like the Giants said, like, hey, we really think it'd be beneficial for you to go and work out at this place called Exos. And so they like provided an opportunity for me to go over there, and it helped me out a lot because I was coming off of a surgery and not really knowing like what to expect out of my hip. And it taught me a lot, and helped out a lot for sure. And I created like a connection with one of the trainers, and I continued working with him like over the break that we had from COVID. And so I feel like I was able to stay on top of my game, whereas other guys were kind of having to work out at parks and stuff. I had somebody that was like training me. So all that plays into it for sure, and it makes me feel confident that the organization is willing to invest.
Yeah, the COVID time was definitely something crazy that a lot of players, didn't know what they were doing. Sounds like you had a great plan. What was it like for you the day of when the news came out that spring training was shutting down? Was that a little disappointing, but also maybe a little encouraging, saying that you could get some more work on in your own with your trainer?
Yeah, I think everyone was like kind of shocked, and we didn't really know how long it was going to last. And then just going to that period of time, like I felt ready to go. I was really excited to start the season. So like I was putting my best foot forward and making a good impression with the staff. And So I guess from my perspective, like I was disappointed because I felt like I had a shot to make the team, and then um, just having that break, it just kind of like throws a wrench in everything. Like what's the season even going to look like at this point? And I think like plans have to change. You kind of have to adapt, especially with now you have 30 guys on the roster, and how do they want to go about using their starting pitchers? And um, I don't know. It just kind of there were a lot of unanswered questions, and I'm sure they're just for the general public. I think it was a weird time for everybody.
Yes, for sure. Definitely, a lot of people are adapting now on the fly. But at least you guys had about a 3 week period summer camp at Oracle. Can you tell me what your experience was like working out at a major league ballpark with no fans, but also trying to fight for a job? What was that whole thing like?
Yeah, it was a strange experience, but also like I don't know if you've ever been to a ballpark where nobody's there, but it's like such a peaceful time too. It's like you kind of have the place to yourself. So imagine like at the ballpark, especially at a big league stadium, there's like kind of this anxiety or like nervousness that you get when you're out there, and like not having allows you to get a little more comfortable with your surroundings. Um, Kind of makes you feel like it's home per se. Um, so for me, like I kind of like the time and the opportunity to like work out and get comfortable with how the park plays, and playing with some of the older guys and the veterans. It's definitely it makes you feel more comfortable out there and like a part of the team.
Yeah, now you're with in the Sacramento alternate site, getting ready to hopefully be called up. What is that? What's going on in the Sacramento camp? Because they're not letting fans and media in. Does it, you still have that same kind of relaxed feeling? Being at a ballpark, getting to work on your craft with no eyes really on you from the public standpoint.
Yeah, I will say that the alternate site is like you don't have a lot of the major league coaching staff there. There's not really like a pressing deadline, I guess. So you're just kind of like you're trying to work on your craft, but at the same time, you don't really know what's going to happen. So it's hard to like plan your rotation out completely. It's difficult to get like the adrenaline, the competitive edge that you're used to when you're like pitching versus another team. Um, Honestly, it kind of feels like how it felt during the COVID break. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're just kind of on your own, sense of like, you know, this is what I know I have to work on, and so you're trying to like continue to perfect your pitches and your sequencing, but it's hard to get like an actual uh, representation of what it'll really look like in a game when it's just your own teammates. I mean, you
Mm-hmm.
face the same guys like 4 or 5 times in a day, and they're going to have a pretty good idea. Like
Mm-hmm.
that sense, like it kind of gets old, and you just have to like. I'd say it's more of a mental challenge for sure.
I could imagine that could definitely be difficult, especially when for pitchers, when a batter gets to know your stuff so well. But kind of with that, you're a guy that has faced a lot of challenges, but you've overcome them. And can you talk about religion playing into that? Going to Cal Baptist University where you had a great year, I think 10-0 with a 1.68 ERA, just excellent numbers. Has faith always played a part in your game through your entire career?
Yeah, it's definitely something that like you have to lean on. Like, for me, there's no way I would have had the career that I've had without God in my corner and in making it happen for me. Like he's planned out every step, and I'm just like super thankful and blessed to be able to just make it this far even. And I've had tons of injuries, and he's seen me through those as well. He's just always been faithful to me, and um, it's even in this time right now, like with COVID and all the uncertainty, like a lot of guys, you get frustrated really easily, and you can become bitter. And I think like having a faith in Christ and in God, like it gives you a different kind of perspective than just thinking that it's all on your own strength, and not being able to have that peace of mind.
Yes, that's definitely something that's important right now. And it's great to see you have that and have that determination to continue, with your career and in a really good position now. Switching now to more kind of a personal interest note, letting the fans know about you as a person. I imagine you have a lot of free time now in Sacramento. What are you doing for fun? You listen to some music, Netflix, maybe a little piano. I heard you're pretty good at that as well.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't like. I used to carry my keyboard with me a little bit, but now just like too much to pack up with a baby and everything. Um, so most of my free time, like I like to go to breakfast spots. That's like one of my favorite things to do with my wife. She's not here right now. She went back home, but I'll text a teammate or something. We'll try to go hit up a new breakfast joint. But yeah, I'm watching a lot of Netflix and HBO. It's probably not the best thing to keep my mind really and stimulated, but yeah, there's a couple good shows that I've gotten into, and I should probably be reading more, but reading is tough sometimes. It just puts me to sleep. Um, yeah, movies are more entertaining for me.
No, I understand for sure. Netflix is pretty good. I got to ask them, what's your favorite breakfast place? Do you have a chance to explore a little bit here in San Francisco, or do you have a favorite one in Sacramento? What's been the greatest find so far?
Um, so for San Francisco, I was kind of doing like the Uber Eats thing because it's so hard to find a place like dining. And with the protocol, they prefer us not to like go out. Um, for Sacramento, I've said like, you know what, I'm gonna go out and try to find a place. So there's this place called Orphan Breakfast House that they have like outdoor seating, and I just went there today with Rob Brantley. He's from Temecula, so we're kind of like from the same area. And they have some like awesome pancakes and avocado scrambles and stuff. So that's definitely one of probably my favorite right now in Sac for sure.
That sounds pretty good. You're making me hungry. I like it. Uh, Last question, asking about now back to baseball. Do you have a plan right now, starting versus relieving right now? When we do see you with the big league club, hopefully soon, can we see you out of the pen, or can we see you starting?
Um, Honestly, I don't think I know the answer to that. I'll say I'm being built up for multiple innings, and whether that's a start or like a relief appearance, I think either way I'll be prepared for it. But um, I think right now the goal is just to get the pitch count up and just be ready. I am working on a splitter right now, so that's been pretty interesting and fun to try a new pitch. And I've had good days and bad days with that. I just gave up a bomb to Ricardo. That sucked, but other days it's getting some swing and misses. So I'm excited to see if it'll play up in the big leagues.
Nice. I'm excited to see it. Trevor, thanks for joining us here. I'm looking forward to you at the big league club very soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me.